Say that one more time.
Somebody said, I can't believe life got so serious that I didn't use my British accent for a while.
Oh, yeah, we were talking about accents in the
We
beginning.
were.
I was going to tell you how to do an Irish accent.
Yes.
So if you take your British accent and you start to take your R's that are non-existent and you take them and you start to go a little harder with your R's and you do the same shift with your R's, all of a sudden now you're doing an Irish accent. I am not an expert at that, but...
That's beautiful, isn't it?
Thank you.
In it.
Water bottle.
Water bottle. Bottle of water.
Tuesday, isn't it?
Tuesday. For heaven's sake. There's an influencer I follow, and she's constantly doing a posh British accent, talking about as if she's royalty being presented her child. Could you bring him over to me? I'd like to look at him. Which is the funny part. She also be like, oh, he's quite fussy now, isn't he? Okay, that's quite enough. Thank you. I've had enough. And just like passes her child off to the nurse. Of course, she's like,
Yeah.
a real mom.
Yeah.
Who is like doing it all, but it's so funny.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I think it does help you to feel a little bit like I'm handling a lot. Maybe I can just pretend like I have wives maids that just, or whatever you call them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Housemaids.
Wives maids.
Yep. That's a new thing now. Maids for the wives. I don't even have children.
Wives maids.
Yeah. I don't. What am I trying to say? I don't have children. I'm just a wife and I need maids to help me with that role.
I need some of those as well.
I need some stability.
That's good. Some wives maids.
What word was I trying to say?
Handmaidens, possibly?
Yep.
Or just maids.
Sure.
I don't know.
I don't either.
Either way, it'd be delightful.
It's the magic of the brain.
Just to imagine, like, I could take a break from this.
Was it Cinderella or maybe it was Sleeping Beauty where they just whoop and then it cleaned the house.
Mary Poppins.
Was it Mary Poppins?
Cinderella kind of too, but she did it with mice and birds and stuff.
Somebody did it with magic. I want to say it was Sleeping Beauty. The three
really?
godmothers that were fairies and they just whoop and then the house cleaned itself and I don't know if I'm thinking of the right one.
Mary Poppins also did it too.
She's magical.
She is.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's got a lot of weird stuff in her bag. A lot of Mary Poppins stuff in there.
Could be Mary Poppins. Could be a druggie.
She pulled
I don't know.
Lamp. A whole lamp. Like a long lamp thing out of that bag. I'll never recover from the first time I saw that. It doesn't fit. You can't fold it up. It's not real.
I mean, that would make me uncomfortable. I'd probably be like, what cult are you in?
I was unhappy with it as a child, I remember.
Isn't it funny, the things that just stick with our brain? Like, I'm not okay with that. And it is in there forever.
Yes. And why is that even something I thought about?
Yeah.
Who even cares?
I cannot remember the important information I need to know for work right now.
But you can remember.
I can recall
that Sleeping Beauty could clean it up with a snap.
Yeah. And that Nemo is not a good movie to watch for the first time in theaters.
Oh, yeah.
Shark teeth.
Oh my goodness. I would not have thought about that.
You don't as an adult, but apparently, I actually don't even remember it. My mom said that was my first movie, was Finding Nemo. She thought it'd be great. There's a bunch of swimming fishies. And then the scene where the shark comes up and it's like, with his teeth in the camera.
Hello.
Like, lost it.
Name's Bruce. Couple of bites like you do now.
Sorry. Don't ever apologize for that. I'm a little upset that you apologized. I wish we could be as good as my aunt and uncle. They can just like have a full conversation in movie quotes. My husband could probably do that. He's super good at it. And I am not one of the, I'm a goldfish. You want to know why?
Why?
10-second memory. Yeah.
Yeah, sad.
I think that's why I have a lot more tolerance for people. I just forget.
So not sad then.
No, it can be. I just choose to be happy and oblivious.
Oblivion is so good. Is that a thing? Oblivion?
It is now. Oblivion.
In my oblivion, I've noticed that I can forgive people quite easily.
I remember what I was going to tell you now. After the whole, like, he's quite fussy, isn't he? Hand it over. There's this one gal. There's this one gal, she did I don't know if she lives somewhere like an old chateau or something.
Mm.
She's this adorable and beautiful. I don't know if
Mm.
she's half black, half Puerto Rican or something, just gorgeous.
Mhm.
But she's like, sometimes I just pretend like I'm an old handmaid. That's the name I was trying to come up with.
I think you have sent me one of her videos.
And she's like, I think he quite fancies you. That might
Yes.
be above my pay. And she's out there scrubbing the floor. I wish I could remember the things she was saying, but
Yes, I know exactly who you're talking about, and she's fantastic. I
such a doll.
love her. Yeah.
If I can find the video,
So good.
I'll just, yeah.
Just
I was
link
quoting it.
to your
A Hunter was in the living room, and
Mhm.
you can see the kitchen,
Mhm.
like inside the kitchen. And I'm just like slaving away, doing my work in here. And now I'm making these quotes. I'm like, I think she quite fancies you. And he stops eating and looks at me like, are you okay?
So he can do movie quotes, and you can do sound bites
Yeah.
from reels.
It's a beautiful, it's quite amazing, except for the fact that I feel like we are in a bilingual household where neither of us speak the other one's language.
Yeah.
He speaks quotes and I don't get it. And then I speak in accents and he goes, what?
We have that. I'm the movie quoter, and Jeremiah's just darkly sarcastic.
I like that combo.
It's a good combo, but it can be a little harsh on the mellow occasionally.
Mm.
In the funniest ways.
I think you learn to appreciate those things. Like I have told myself there's probably about 20% of my husband that will never change.
Yeah.
And I have to learn to be okay with that.
Mhm.
Like I married him for all the 80% wonderful. Quite frankly, though, the things that might irritate me the most now I thought was like absolutely adoring and charming when we were dating.
Yep. Same.
Isn't that funny?
I bet a lot of women would say that. Don't
Yeah.
you think?
Yeah. Like,
Probably a lot of men would say it too.
yeah, it's constant. Like you see it in specific relationships where they love the fact that they do something like, oh, they're
Mhm.
always wanting to go do this with me and
Yeah.
spend time with me and my hobby. And then they get married and they're like, they won't leave me alone. They always want to go. They don't want to go without me. They're upset if I go without them. And I'm like, do you open your eyes, bro? Anyway,
No, listen. I might be that girl.
get some contacts. You need to check
I
your.
might be that. Although I have to say, I have recently found my chill. It took me 10 years to find it.
How does one do that?
You just go, how big a deal is it? And like, how much energy do I have right now? And then you go, not enough to fight that one out. Let's just put a pin in it. And if it still bothers me when he gets back, then we might talk about it. And half the time it just goes away.
Yeah. Not every hill is worth dying on. I think that's
No.
what's so hard about nowadays, where it is the age of information,
Oh, yeah.
which is fantastic. It's also scary whenever you read about end times.
Mm-hmm.
So with all this information that we have, we learn a lot more about how we ought to communicate better and share our feelings and emotions and, like, I don't know how else to describe that besides very Dravian.
I'm going to need you to like replay that part.
Yeah, I'll redo it. But I think we get all this stuff and it's like, we don't want to communicate in the ways that our parents and grandparents did. And they were such poor communicators. And I'm like, at the end of the day, though, there is something to be said
No,
about
there
why
is.
our great grandparents did not get divorced.
There is. I actually started taking notice of that one time when Jeremiah was like, do you think your parents have a bad marriage? I was like, no, they're best friends. He goes, then why do you need to talk about everything? And not that he, like, obviously he was avoiding talking about stuff that he didn't want to talk about. If we're being honest, that is not, no shame on him, because he will talk about a lot of things ad nauseum because he's a good husband that he doesn't want to talk about, honestly.
But to what
However,
end?
he was realizing and making the assertion that I was actually upsetting myself more by allowing myself to dwell and dwell and dwell and bring it up over and over again in new ways. And it wasn't actually getting to the root of anything that we could do anything about.
Yeah, he's probably right.
He was right about that.
Yeah.
I have to give him that. I mean, in the moment, I was like, I almost set you
How
on fire.
dare you? Yeah.
Yeah. But
Hold still while I strangle your neck.
yes.
God bless him. No, yeah.
But in order to honor myself, not even him, I took a step back and I was like, what does help you feel more peace and what does help you let go of things? Because it is way easier to train your mind to dwell on negative things.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know, it just wants to avoid the negative, and so it thinks about the negative until you're doing the negative. I don't know how. That doesn't make any sense.
Yes, it does,
But it
because your
just
body,
works.
your body has a constant sense of self-preservation mode,
Mm-hmm.
and our learned responses actually occur whenever, like people pleasing. This was something I talked about in the last episode, where what happens is we see this pattern. The reason these learned responses happen is because, like, you hear the phrase, my life flashed before my eyes. There's science to that. So our learned responses with people pleasing is we found that whenever we do our fawn response, which is like avoiding and like, if I give them what they want, then I'll have peace and we'll be okay.
Me for 17 years.
Yeah, nonchalantly, our whole
Probably
lives.
more
It's
than
fine.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Praise Jesus, we're okay. Anyway, our brains look for patterns to fit a puzzle to a, like take a puzzle piece and fill that hole and go, oh, this worked, this worked, this worked. And it got me out of a problem. The reason our lives flash before our eyes is because our brains are looking for ways to get out of that problem, yet we've never experienced something that drastic. So it is literally flipping through, trying to find the solution, and there is none. So you just get this rapid fire of like, where's the answer? Where's the answer? Where's the answer? And there is none.
Yes. That's so good. My thing is like, do I have the communication skills to make it to the other side of things? Yes. I don't know. I just think I was feeling insecure until I thought getting to the end of things would bring me more security, like you said. But but that's not where your security is as a married woman.
Yeah.
And here I am, 10 years later going, my security is supposed to come from God, and I'm supposed to bring that and a regulated nervous system to the table. It's not supposed to come from Jeremiah.
It's funny because we constantly say that men, they don't listen whenever we're bringing something to them, because the science behind that is they are problem solvers to solve issues for us. So they constantly offer us a solution instead of listening. And the funny part is we do that in a different disguised kind of way.
Oh, I hadn't thought about it that way.
Yeah, I never did either, except for the way that you were describing it, is we are trying to find a solution to that.
Yeah.
When there is none. And don't get me wrong, like, you should try everything you can not to go to bed angry.
Yeah. Hold on.
But, and the big but, I love my nephew. I adore him. I have got one nephew. There is no reasoning with a 4-year-old when they need sleep.
Nope.
There is no, we need to talk about it more.
Can confirm.
Knock that kid out with some sleep and a heavy pillow. And that sounded really aggressive. Don't smother your child.
No, don't do that.
We do not condone. Just sometimes it's better, like for Hunter, I had to learn that the way he clears his head and calms down is taking a shower. When I heard him like, I just need to go take a shower, I'm like, we're talking. You're running away. Yes. Yeah. Stay here so we can talk about it. And the best thing to do, the first time I think it fully clicked and I was completely at peace with it, was our last debate, disagreement, argument. Our last argument, he backed up. We were both huffing. So this is not just him. He huffed and went and heard him get ready for the shower and get in the shower. And in my head, I went, he is doing what he can to self-regulate and soothe to ensure that we can have a better conversation.
Yep.
That was the first time of me going, this is good.
Yep.
That took me a while to learn that.
I'm so glad you shared that, because you cannot know how marriage is going to be until you're in it. I read books. I watched podcasts. I watched sermons. And I prayed. I've been praying for my husband since I was less than 10.
Dang girl.
Not even knowing who he was. And there was a point at which I was like, I've been praying since I was that young, and this is what I get. No shade on him, but my mistake of not realizing I'm marrying a person, not an outpouring of God. Marriage is an outpouring of God in a way that you learn that he meets your needs inside the marriage, and that he uses the marriage to connect you back with him, not the other way around. He doesn't come into your marriage and say, I'm going to connect you both with each other so you're strong and independent of me. He goes,
Yeah.
I'm putting two people together who cannot sustain it unless they rely on me through the whole thing.
That is so encouraging.
It is to me.
It's wild because I honestly believe there's points in times for a lot of people where they just feel like their marriage is falling apart.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny part is, typically speaking, whenever it seems like it's the least connected, is whenever either us together, and I do believe this is important, our individual time with the Lord has been cut short, severed, non-existent the last couple weeks, months. But it's like a mold. You don't know it's growing until it's been a while, but the environment for that to grow was already set in place previously to that, and you just didn't see it yet.
Yeah.
It takes a lot to retrain your brain and go, why am I feeling this way? Why do I feel like such crap and all this stuff? And then you go, oh, I have not read my Bible in a while. Why is that a shock?
Oh, yeah. But here's the thing is I fell into this category for a few years. I think it's been a few years since I thought this way, but I definitely did, and I will own myself. But I think there's a category of women out there that I was definitely in where you're like, well, he's supposed to lead me spiritually. So if I'm failing spiritually, then that's on him because he's leading our family. What? What? No, because I had a relationship with God. My relationship with God is what allowed my husband to come into my life. If I stop that because he's supposed to lead me in some kind of different way, what kind of trap am I setting for him, for goodness sake?
Yes.
And also, like, now he's become the God. That's so silly, but also so understandable of a sweet little girl who just wants to love and admonish her husband and is, not realizing that she's also idolizing him.
Yeah, to back that up a little further, and I think we talked about this offset, but it was also something I talked about with some other people as well just earlier this week, that it is extremely, as women, hard not to put our husband in this savior complex bubble because your husband and our fathers are meant to portray Christ. We are too, but God is our first and foremost. He is our protector and provider. Yet women need to find a man for us to feel emotionally and physically safe, where we can be vulnerable, where we can have a sense of our femininity. Because to back that up, our masculinity comes out whenever we don't feel
Absolutely, yeah.
like we're protected.
That's so true.
Right, because somebody's got to do it.
Yeah.
Right. So whenever we are looking for someone who will be a protector and a provider for you and your future children, it gets really hard not to cross the lines between savior, who is the first level of that,
Right.
and husband, that's the second
So
level.
good. Yes. Yeah.
So understand that if you struggle with that, there's nothing wrong with you.
No.
That is a natural thing you're supposed to look for in another person. And that's your Lord and Savior, first and foremost.
Right.
Right.
And your husband can be a way that he is administering that
Like
to
mirroring
you.
it. Right.
Yeah, like your husband wants to participate with God to bring that into your life, but he's participating with God in that. It's not like he's doing it in his own strength.
He's supposed to be the priest of your household.
Yeah. So,
not the God of your household.
Right. And I believe it was very hard for me to distinguish that because I had very idealistic ways that I thought marriage was, and I thought I knew a lot more about it than what I was experiencing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just super cool to kind of be like, hey, guess what? We can totally pivot and we don't have to do it that way anymore. We can have a lot more security.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's good news. That's the gospel, actually.
Yeah,
like it's the gospel, like multiplied, I guess. Not necessarily that it's Jesus the Savior, but it is Jesus the Savior of my marriage.
Yeah. We have to remember at the end of the day, it's extremely hard not to blur these lines as well. At the end of the day, we have our own individual relationship with the Lord. Like, I think it's fantastic you do things together as a couple, especially to keep God in, not even just like the top priority. Like, somebody put it as like a dresser. They have all these drawers, right? sports, your kids, your spouse, cleaning your house, all these things. And it's kind of like we're trying to rank this as top and bottom.
Yeah.
Once we start to get more things that come in and come in and come in, and you have kids, and then you got responsibilities, and you've got sports and activities and all these things, you're starting to run out of drawers. Something has to be kicked out. As soon as you realize God isn't something to put on that priority, it's the dresser itself that encompasses all of it.
Dang.
We preaching today.
Yeah.
These are not my words. This is somebody else. I wish I could remember who it was. It's so good. One of those like instant little information bits. So good. But yeah, to understand that it's very important that you have that time together as a couple so that way Christ can encompass your marriage. You and your spouse don't go together hand in hand through heaven's gates either. That's still an individual walk.
I know.
That's so hard.
It is hard. At one point, I really wanted that to be a lot different than the reality that it is.
Yeah, I want to be married to him for eternity. I can't be. Isn't that awful? Like, I'm so excited for the future of being in heaven and just this wonderful, amazing place forever where this world can't touch us anymore.
Yeah.
It can't hurt us anymore. The enemy cannot attack us anymore. Like no matter what happens here, we're safe. If you are a Bible-believing Christian, you're safe. Like no matter what this world does, you're okay. That is the only reservation that I have. I will know him, but I will not get to be exclusive with him.
I know. And the logical part of my brain goes, but it's going to be okay because like we don't even understand the goodness that is coming.
Yeah.
And that, marriage is one way of like seeing that goodness, but to know and be known and to have covenant with a person who is like romantically into you is just such a sweet gift. It is very hard to think about letting that go in any way.
This deep level of intimacy that you don't get to share with anyone else. But that is the point of your marriage emulating the covenant that we have with the Lord.
Yes.
The reason why we can't be married in heaven is because the church is going to be, like, it symbolizes marriage, right? Yeah. The bridegroom is waiting for his bride, and we are the bride.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. This touches on a whole different, and this is probably a whole other podcast, but this touches on what I experienced being engaged and then having that person pass away. And then you actually grieve that part of it too. I get to know him in heaven, but we won't be together. Like, what if I never experienced that type of closeness ever again in this life?
Oh, wow.
Or what if, what if I do experience it and it's different and I don't like it? Or all these things that you think of when you're facing death, facing someone's death, the death of someone that is romantically involved with you. It's just wild how you don't get to, we weren't even married. And so like just feeling like we're not even going into the kingdom together. I never get to experience what I wanted so badly.
Yeah.
With this person, which I think about it differently now. But it's a thing.
Yeah, you never got to experience that. And there isn't it crazy? Sometimes we have a grieving process over something that we had and lost. And sometimes we have to have a grieving process over something that we never had and longed for.
Oh, amen. Yeah. Yes. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
How do you, and it sounds like maybe some of this is like you and Hunter have your humorous ways that like work together to process things, but how do you feel like it shows up in your marriage to be authentically ADHD, but also like in your value, like standing in your value? Like I bring this to the table and it's a good thing, and I'm also silly and smart and all these things, and just kind of be known in that, but not let it, because I feel like it can overwhelm and take over sometimes in my position to where I just isolate instead of showing up in authenticity. So that's kind of where the question's coming from. Do you feel like you've found a balance of ADHD plus everything it takes to make a marriage work?
Good question.
I hope.
It is. And this might trigger some people. I quit talking about it. I quit bringing it up. Like it was like the similar thing to trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I just do this because I am whatever. I do this because I have whatever. You kind of give yourself the reason of not doing it.
Yeah.
And that was really hard pill for me to swallow. And it actually came directly, God bless him for that kind of boldness and courage, my husband bringing it up. We had some friends over. They left for the evening, and I was talking about it, having a great time, like, oh, it's so good. And he asked me, he said, did you notice that every time we get together with people, the thing you talk about a lot is how you have ADHD?
Oh.
Yeah. And I was like, well, sure. Like, I get excited when I find somebody who has the same thing because that coffee is like going to make me burp.
Now I'm looking at the camera.
What's wrong with this woman?
I love it.
It looks like you can feel a bubble rising up and you're sitting there going, quit. I got something to say.
That is so interesting to have happen as you're about to share something authentic with your own voice.
Yeah, a little bit.
Not to put too fine a point on it.
Oh, thank you. It's absolute rubbish. Okay. So, yeah. So he brought it up and he's like, you realize that whenever we meet with people, you bring that up a lot and you talk about it a lot. Why do you keep speaking that over yourself? I'm upset at you because you're right. Like that, I'm like, what? First of all, it kind of set me off a little bit. I didn't express, maybe I did. I'm glorifying myself by going, I didn't react to that. No, I'm pretty sure I did. I just, from my perspective, it seemed glorious. But I'm sure for him, he's like, just take the constructive criticism. Like I'm asking a question. And then I have
self-reflection prompt.
Yeah.
It can be so humbling to receive those when they come unexpectedly.
Especially props to him for not saying, you do this. He asked, why do you think you do that? It forces you into a corner to understand that you have to ask yourself the question.
Yeah.
A, why do I do that? And B, why did I feel triggered whenever he asked me that? Why did that upset me when he asked me? Because if it's not a problem, if it's not something I'm insecure about, it's like if somebody came to me and was like, why didn't you do that? Well, if I did it, I would feel no need to defend myself. I go, well, I did.
It's true.
If I didn't do something, then I would be like, well, and then come up with all my excuses. So there were two very big questions I had to ask myself. I really was convinced the fact that by talking about it with other women that got it, I did not know I struggled in that way. I just thought I was really bad studying at school. I cannot stay on task. I have a problem with procrastination. There was no label to it. It was just like, there's something innately wrong with you all over, and I don't know why.
Gosh, even hearing you say that, like, there's just the little girl in my heart is like, thank you for letting me not be the only one.
Isn't that interesting?
Because I knew I was smart, but I didn't know that I had what it took.
Right.
It was hard. So.
Thanks for Einstein for teaching me that a fish isn't dumb because it can't climb a tree. It's just in its wrong environment.
That's sweet. That's sweet. Yeah. Sorry not to sidetrack.
No.
To sidetrack you. But yes.
No.
Sweet to hear.
Yeah. So for me, I'm like, I finally got to understand what was wrong with me, and I get to discuss it with people who understand that about themselves. And now I'm learning how to combat that. But what I didn't realize was the double-sided coin to that is sometimes you can talk about it too much. Because when God said, I am that I am, anything that I say, I am, and then follow up with that.
Yeah. Do you think that it is sometimes a deflection when you're first getting to know people? Like, I don't necessarily know them yet, but we can relate on this, and it's a weakness. And so if they're comfortable with that and we can share a vulnerability in that, then we could get closer. But it's kind of I find it to be an easy test of, are they going to accept me? Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like something similar to gossip.
Oh,
why?
How so?
Well, I think it's very interesting that why is it that the first thing that we try to relate to people with something on is something negative? I mean, like, besides for the first conversation with, girl, your outfit's so cute. I
Mhm.
love how you did that, whatever. Sure, that's positive. But even like, I had a lot of friends in different circles,
Mhm.
especially ones in a more secular light. I saw oftentimes more girls clicking together over talking about a similar enemy rather than a similar friend.
Yeah.
The
Which
enemy of my enemy is my friend. And unfortunately, I see that come to light a lot in women conversations, particularly.
it's the quickest way to. I actually have had conversations with Jeremiah about this a lot because he studied psychology in college. And
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
yeah,
That
and
actually tracks.
it does.
It very much does. He's very
And it
smart.
has helped me so much have good connection with him, honestly. But
Mm.
I don't know. It's the quickest way to bond with someone over something negative, but it's also like the like shoddiest bond. So like what the cost is of bonding with someone over negativity is now if you see that trait in someone else that you bonded over, like if they're hanging out with somebody and you know that they have that trait, now you think they're fake.
Mm-hmm.
Now you think they're going to talk that way about you.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a very shaky way to bond with people.
What's the first thing that you learn about somebody whenever they do gossip to you about someone else?
That they would do it to you.
Preach, sis.
Yeah.
It does cause such a unstable environment, and it doesn't matter who it is.
Mm-hmm.
It can be somebody that you are extremely close with.
Yeah.
It can be somebody that you're not as close with.
Mm-hmm.
But regardless, you understand that if they're willing to come talk to you about even some of the like close, I've had people discuss some things with me in the past that were so deeply entwined with their life, specifically the people closest to them in their lives.
Mm-hmm.
In the past, my brain saw it as, oh, I'm trustworthy.
Mm-hmm.
They see me as trustworthy. And so they're opening up about the deepest parts of their lives and they're confiding in me. And I took that as like this big responsibility. And
Yeah.
no, the problem is if you're willing to discuss the people closest with you to me, who you really don't know from Adam, there's something innately wrong with that because it means no one's safe.
I do. I also think that there's a caveat worth speaking about in this because there are people like me who just have not learned how to process, like me in the past, I should say in the past, because I feel like this has come a long way with me, honestly. I'm proud to say that.
Hey.
Proud. Should say pleased, I guess, because I don't want to like
No.
stumbling.
Be proud of it.
Yeah. But there are people who feel like there's no one safe in their world to process their thoughts on other people or what's happened in social situations. And they might be fawning you by going, I'm safe, see all my vulnerability, and just like trauma dumping on you.
Rolling over, showing the belly. Yeah.
And how I would test it if it's someone doing that or if it's like a really unsafe person is, are they willing to be connected back with God on it? Because if I'm sharing that with you and I'm just going, I literally have no one else to talk to. You don't know anybody in my circle. And so even if I have to use names to like get this out, I'm not wanting to throw shade. I want to do what God wants me to do, but I just literally don't know how. So this is my best way of communicating this situation. Doesn't mean I shouldn't learn how to do it in a different way. However, if you say, let's go to God about this, and then you go, hey, let's hold honor for these people. Maybe I would feel more comfortable if you don't say their names. And I'm willing to be like, oh, you're right. Yes, please like lead me in this. Yeah. Then I could see it being a really helpful moment to like push people back into God in those moments. If they're willing to do that, I feel like that's the caveat. But if they're unwilling and they're just trying to gain loyalty with you or
they don't actually want solutions
or influence your view of another person that you haven't met yet, all those things, you can easily see that if someone is unwilling to go back to God or get into the scripture about it.
Very true. And I do understand like the names and everything because like you said, like off camera that you tend to be a verbal processor.
Yes. Yeah.
Very much the same. There are speak to thinkers and think to speakers. So when my husband says, I think that we should get Olive Garden tonight.
Mm-hmm.
He's already thought about it, and then he spoke what he wanted. I am a speak to thinker. I will verbalize everything and go, you know what? I think sushi sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
And then when my husband's like, all right, let's go get you some sushi. And I go, well, but maybe this sounds good and that sounds good. He's like, woman, make up your mind. I thought you already thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
Once you understand that about each other and go, oh, we process differently, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And as far as I think you're 100% right that if they're not willing to go to God on it, if they're not a Christian either and they're just looking for some kind of level of processing, the quickest way to find out for non-Christians is if they're looking for solutions or not. If they dump all that out on you and you offer some insight with kindness and not to just dump it on them, but if they're coming at you and expressing all those things and they just seem like it's just so much, I don't know what to do about it.
Yeah.
And that can be a great witnessing opportunity. But if you offer solutions and then they blow that off or huff or they don't take it and they keep coming back to you and being negative, sometimes those are people you need to stay away from.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just going to say
energy vampires. 100% discuss that. And I honestly, I've been a magnet for those and I've learned new ways to deal with it. But honestly, it's what people want that you have when they are trying to get that from you in this way. They want Jesus. They need Jesus. They feel that they can get that through you. And they're mistaking a person for a great love that they can have access to all on their own. And I know this because I've been one. Also, it does not mean that they lack maturity. I lacked maturity in those situations and I lacked wisdom. And I'm thankful that God provides wisdom when you need it because he certainly did for me in those. But you don't have to let them take it from you. And that's the thing that I needed to know as a people pleaser. You don't have to let it be pulled out of you. You can give it as God commands rather than as people desire. And that's really hard to learn because we think this may be the only dose of Jesus this person gets today, so I've got to show up well. Well, what if I'm not prayed up and I end up or reading my Bible currently and I end up like making the situation worse in my flesh because I'm doing it in my own strength? You got to imagine the glass in between you and this person. If someone is oversharing or commenting, using names and stuff that is possibly gossip, possibly just them processing, we don't know. Just like picture the glass in between you and go to God in that moment. Be like, God, what do you want from this? How can I show up for this person? Am I supposed to show up for this person? How do I connect them back with you? Yeah. Because they can have every fullness that I have that they're seeing that they're wanting from me for their own self. Yeah. So the only time that I'm going to make a mistake in that situation is when I don't believe that I have enough for them and I'm thinking that I have to be the one to provide it. It's always him. Yeah. It's always Jesus.
Something I'm constantly saying, you used to be, I still am currently on stage every week. And as you know, being on stage, like my constant prayer is that God would speak through me. That whatever he wants to say, he'll use me as the vessel. That can be a really scary thing sometimes. It is extremely hard to keep your humility, and it's this constant battle. I wouldn't say it's extremely hard as in the fact like, I constantly fight with the fact of how good I am. It's the fact that I'm constantly on the lookout for the snares that drag me to that point. I'm looking for the stepping stones because people don't just, nobody wakes up one day and's like, I want to try crack cocaine.
No.
Right. There's always some kind of stair step.
Yeah.
Unless, something insane happens to you and it just, I don't know, but I've never heard of that. Regardless, just the example of the devil's not going to just come to you and be like, oh, it's so awful. You just need to do that to them. He'll normally come in and be like, did they really say that to you? Hey, you were really good. Thanks. Yeah, and sometimes it's not even always a bad thing. Like, oh, you're so dang good at that.
Yeah, but he only wants you to look good if it makes him look good.
Yeah. Because listen here, if you feel like you're not getting You're not going to be attacked by somebody that you're already on his mission.
Yeah.
So constantly looking for those snares of being like, okay, be careful, because I've had another area of my life where I didn't see those snares, and it got me into some massive life-altering trouble of like, oh, I never want to do that again.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I also have to realize, like, if you're so fixated on it, that's kind of one of those like self-fulfilling prophecies. Oh, I don't want to be like that. Well, if that's all you're focused on,
Yeah.
it's all you end up doing.
Well, don't you think that it comes back to identity too? Because even we were just talking about marriage. We're talking about, leading music. It could be leading Bible study. It could be leading anything. Leading your children, leading your, whatever. If you are thinking, I am, rather than I am doing, then you are set up for a place where it matters how good you are. A lot. Because, like, this is actually when I was talking with your mom about pride dying, this is exactly what I was going through, was with music and leading music. And it was God took me into the holy place and was like, hey, you are not worship leader. That's not who you are. That's not what you are. That's what you are doing.
It's the position.
And I was so grieved in my whole entire being, because I was like, well, if I am this, then it matters if I keep doing it. And it was giving me purpose and value and all this stuff. If it's giving me purpose and value, it's my idol. So when our identity is wrapped up in something, we can so easily be manipulated.
Dang.
Like, I am a good wife. Nope. I am doing good wife things out of the being that Christ created.
I like that thought process.
It's still not at the ready every time for me.
Well,
I want it to be I want it to be habit. But it's actually really hard to go, my being a good wife, right? Not just doing the things a good wife does out of love for Christ. If I'm sitting in that position, gosh, if I mess up, then I'm not a good wife. Now it's my identity that's not good.
Right.
Rather than something I did that was not good.
Right.
And then I need to win the fight
Yeah.
to prove that I'm good.
Ooh.
And it's the same with leading worship. I need to sing the songs that this group that agrees with me on everything thinks are the right songs, and do them with excellence in order to be the good worship leader, because now I'm leading the right people in worship. What is that? That's a messy thing.
And it is something that is constant in the worship music industry, I believe. Like, whenever you are on stage, there is so much background pressure that a lot of people will never know that we go through. So much external pressure. That's already an extremely hard job. It hurts worse when the people around you, that one, I want you to understand that it is not my job to fulfill your relationship with the Lord. I'm not the one delivering you to wherever you need to be spiritually.
No. In fact, I once thought that the job of worship leader was to create an environment where that could happen.
It's very common.
If a person is not already there in their heart to where they want to come to church and worship God, regardless of the music, regardless of the delivery, there's no way that I can get them there.
Yeah.
What in the world was I thinking?
Yeah.
I mean,
unless you go up there and you're a complete distraction.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. There needs to be some reasonable level of talent and ability that God-given.
Skill. Yeah.
Right. A skill that's been practiced. Like, God gives you those talents, which are amazing, but they are still practiced, and not to over-spiritualize everything. But God will give you nuggets of being like, hey, this is yours if you want it, and run with it. But understand, you're not the only one, so get out of your head, because I got 29 other people behind you that if they're willing and able and ready.
Oh, can we pause there for a minute?
Yeah.
Because this was humiliating for me.
Raw moment here.
Honestly, I, as a skilled musician who won lots of awards in my high school music career, and then did not go on to college to do any music at all, but just stepped into worship leading roles as often as I could. I'm like, I'm probably this sounds terrible. I'm probably the most skilled musician here.
Hmm.
And that matters because people don't want to be distracted while they're worshiping God and blah, 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 blah. And I think there's like an ounce of truth to some of these things.
Almost
But
always, yeah.
when I realized that people were just fine, like just as much as they desired to have a worship leader up there, they would have a person who was not skilled in playing guitar and singing at the same time or piano or any of it. They would just be fine with some person singing karaoke, not even on key.
Mm-hmm.
If it was a song they liked, then they didn't care who was doing it or how.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like so offended by that because
Yeah.
what I had worked to produce was refined or more talented or whatever. The comparison thing was telling me I deserve to be worship leader more than them.
See, and that's where I was going to get with that too. That is so good. So we have to be very careful to understand that we don't deserve the things of the position. The position deserves those things.
Yes.
So anything that comes with the position, we see this a lot in multiple areas where we feel like we're owed and we deserve more.
Mm-hmm.
And then as seasons come and go, like I was worried about doing this podcast because even when I was like, but if my commitment level to it long term dies off, then I'm going to let a bunch of people down, not just myself, and move on and be like, oh, it's no big deal. Like I failed in that area. But then when I was like, no, I can do this. I just need to worry about being consistent rather than extravagant.
Mm-hmm.
The only problem is then I started to think of, well, it will die eventually, and inevitably it will not last forever.
Mm-hmm.
If we keep that mindset, though, with our positions and understand that I am just here, like the Bible tells us to point people to Jesus and not ourselves, because that is, I will not be remembered in a short, even the most famous people right now will not be remembered at a certain point in time. And that is why it's so important to continue to reflect and be a mirror that just like something comes at you and you shine that thing back up there and it just deflects right up to the Lord and saying, hey, it's about him. Hats off to anybody that uses their position to do that, but understand something, that anything that is granted to you while under a position is not granted to you. It's granted to the position.
Right.
And that is not your position. It's like I played sports in school, and in softball, I remember we had some very, very talented girls on there. We went to state. We won, like awesome girls.
It was a good time for softball.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. And I remember, I don't even really remember who it was because I really did feel bad for them. And even if I did, I wouldn't call them out like this. But they started to get a little more lackadaisical in practices and everything because they've possibly, from the outside, if that were me, I won't even put it on them. I'll just say, if it were me, I'd be like, I'm the best one here. You got nobody else to replace me. Inevitably, my coach said, you don't own that position, and that is something you earn every day, and I can put whoever I want there.
Oh,
If that's not like the Lord going, you better straighten up and do and take care of what I've gifted you, because if you don't, I don't care if they're as talented as you or not, because what happened was he benched that person and put someone in that was not as talented as them, who could have gone on to play a very, very long time. And I believe they did. They went on to keep playing. And but that's the thing.
No, and this is challenging for people who have brains that work similar to ours, is like, because it is so easy in the moment.
Yeah.
We've got to put in the hard work as well.
Yeah.
I used to have constant conversations in my mind about developing talent and where my talent should go and how to best honor God with my talent and all those things. Good heart behind it, good intention. The road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Say it again for the people in the back. What?
Right? I mean, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, because how I interpreted without wisdom to do the will of God with my talents and all those things was so just poor and immature. And I'm so glad that I tried things and did things and worked with people and learned more and all this. But being talented without being willing to show up, or being talented without being willing to put in the hard work just because it's unfulfilling or
Mhm.
whatever. It's not honoring to God. It has no, it like what he says about killing your flesh daily, and what he says about run the race with perseverance, and what he says about be excellent at what is good, be innocent of evil.
Yeah.
The bar is very high. Now, shame may keep you from showing up at all if you're comparing yourself to the perfection of God, right? But he wants to be glorified in it. And so I don't know, I just feel like I at times went, I'm the worship leader because I'm talented and skilled.
Yeah.
And that also shows like who I am in God. And it just wasn't true. Like, if you're willing to show up, be consistent, do the work, and you're in that position, that is perfectly fine. That is actually a wonderful, beautiful thing, regardless of your talent or skill.
Right. But even in anything from lies to myth and legend, there's always an ounce of truth in that. Right. My husband and I watched Tomb Raider, the newer one.
Okay.
Yeah. And how, the scene goes on to portray this woman in a certain light that lined up with myth and legend. And when they got there, they found out there is truth to that. It was not at all what they thought it was, but there was some truth to it that backed that up. The truth to it was you were picked for that position because you did have the talent and the skill. The problem is that became the reason why you didn't continue to pursue that. I've had those moments. So I'm speaking to you, but in general.
Totally. Yeah. And I won't be offended by this. I actually learned a lot about this, like, since I was thinking like that too. So
Really? Yeah.
No offense at all.
Do you know what procrastination is?
What is it?
Procrastination is the audacity of saying God will continue to give me more opportunities to do what I've already been called to do previously. It's pride.
Yep.
Anyway, I'm going to go fold that laundry now that I've left. Right? Like, we just assume that God will give us another day.
We do.
We just really honestly believe that we're so high up there that no one else could take that position. We get another chance. And it causes us to sit back on our heels and kind of do things at the pace that we want to do them.
Yeah. There is another interpretation of procrastination that I think is very well worth mentioning along with this conversation, which is that if a person does not have the self-awareness of what God is putting, I shouldn't call it self-awareness, like the relational day-to-day grit with God, to be aware of what he's calling us to do today. Because I always thought missions were so long-term, and I shamed myself for showing up to camp, and year after year I would do the camp, and then I'd be like, but I didn't do anything that these other people did, and they've like gone on to build a career ministry and blah, blah, blah. Well, did I show up for today what the mission was from God? Yes, I did. And so you have to kind of take that. But when you don't have awareness of what God wants for you to do, and you don't have awareness of the capacity that you have today, which changes as you have kids, changes as your job changes as you need to attune to your husband, all that stuff, you got to be aware of that changing capacity. So you know, how did I show up for God today within my own physical limits? If you don't know that, you'll say yes to everything. And then procrastination, the pride part that you're speaking about, will show up to go, actually, I'm canceling your plans. Actually, I'm making you late to this because I'm actually the one in charge now, because you have to default to me instead of listening to what God said, it because you could have been assertive, but now I have to guard you. I have to guard your heart instead of God.
Isn't it funny how we either feel like we either struggle with one or the two? We either feel like we're way overqualified or we were completely underqualified.
Yeah. Yeah. Which, there again, it's all or nothing thinking. And Satan can just trap you in that.
Yeah.
And just, it's like he's pushing the pendulum back and forth.
Yeah.
And I mean, he doesn't even have power to do that unless we're, weak and not knowing.
Yeah. I mean, he's roaming the earth looking for people, looking for opportunities. The good news is, not really, but God is omnipresent. The devil is not. He has to pick and choose his battles.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes I have to remind myself, like, don't get me wrong. The enemy is out there. He very well could be him or anything associated with him can definitely prey on you and what's going through your mind and all these things. But he does not know everything about you like God does.
No.
And sometimes we give the devil way too much credit.
Yes. Well, I think that's what I'm saying is like my participation is what allows his power to affect.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because it's not like with God.
Yeah.
God has power regardless of if I lift a finger. Satan needs me to lift a finger.
Yeah. Jeez. Yeah. That's yeah. I'm a little floored by that.
I'm glad because then, like, there's something I can do.
Yeah.
You know,
He doesn't actually have any power over you if you so choose to use the power that's been granted to you to distinguish that.
absolutely, yeah.
And I think once we understand that the power that we do have, the culture that we live in right now constantly tells us to listen to your what?
Feelings, your heart.
Yeah, your heart. Listen to your heart. What does the Bible tell you?
It has, yeah. The heart is deceitful above all things. Who can know it?
Right.
Uh-huh.
What does the world say about what you should speak?
I don't know. Tell me this one.
Speak your mind.
Oh, yeah. Speak your truth.
Yeah,
Your truth.
Right. What is your truth? What is that?
Honestly, with the information age and people having access to all of the facts, your truth can be anything you want it to be.
Yeah.
It's just,
So you're delusional.
yeah.
Let's be real. If you live in reality, but then your brain goes, I can make it whatever I want.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
Are
we're
you
very,
okay?
we're very creative.
Are you okay?
I mean, being imaginative with that. But it's so, like, wonderful to know that there is a truth to stand on.
There is, because the world tells us
truth.
to speak our truth and to speak. Don't worry about what other people think about you, to say whatever you want, to be whatever you want. What does the Bible say? The Bible tells you to have self-control. The Bible tells you to control your tongue, to control your body, to control your mind and your heart.
Yeah.
Now, I want to make sure I
It's
don't
my
get
biggest
this.
struggle.
Really?
Yeah. I've prayed for self-control more than any other fruit of the Spirit.
It's very wise of you.
Well, I can't do it without that fruit.
But it's extremely comforting to do whatever you want.
Until your life is in shambles and you feel so isolated and shameful that you can't invite anybody in to even pray for you.
Ooh. Double-sided coin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We look so much inwardly to try to find the answers to a God-sized hole.
Yeah.
And then we wonder why our society has such massive, massive issues with so many things. Yeah. It's like, we need to have self-control. We need to look at what the Bible says, because you slowly start to realize that the world is giving the opposing thought at the Bible. Not shocking.
Mm-hmm.
If the devil is running this world, however he wants to play these games, especially when it feels helpless and hopeless. Understand, he gets his time now, but it does not matter how something happens, whether it does or it doesn't. There's infinite possibilities of our world, and yet every single one of them he loses. So have hope in that. Like, just because stuff sucks really, really harshly right now. I didn't plan on talking about this, but we're recording this episode shortly after the wonderful and awesome, greatly cherished Charlie Kirk was assassinated for not the Second Amendment, the First.
Mm-hmm.
We're in a very hard time, a scary time.
Mm-hmm. Weirdly so, too, because it's not overt. It's not overtly scary. I feel safe in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
I go to the grocery store. I see people. We wave at people. I have conversations with strangers. I love where we live. There is like a covert fear that is becoming more and more tangible. And I think Charlie Kirk's death is a sign of that.
Yeah, it's just looming.
Because it's like whatever the undercurrent is that we're aware of that feels scary, like you said. It's becoming more tangible, but it's not there yet. I mean, there's a day-to-day societal enjoyment that's still very present.
Yeah, and it can be, because we do not have a spirit of fear.
Amen.
Right? And that's not what God wants for us. That's not what Charlie would want for us. I have so much love and respect for his wife.
Oh, my goodness.
Getting up and speaking 24 hours after the event, and just speaking so much life over our entire nation that got broadcasted everywhere. She just witnessed to millions of people.
Yes.
And showed that there is something that gave her the strength to do that was not of her own, that was not within, that's not something that she just mustered up.
No. No.
God gave her the strength to do that, and that was so evident and so profound. I have no doubt that just that alone has caused people to question and wonder, what is different?
Yeah.
What is it that just gave her the strength to do that?
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
And yeah, you were saying too, like, to have hope that regardless of the times, that, Satan just doesn't win.
Nope.
He doesn't. Somebody was texting me just the other day, a good friend of mine, and she had been cyberbullied by some people that thought she was someone who she was not. And basically she just deleted all of her social media.
Oh, wow. My brother had a similar thing happen.
Yeah, it was really bad. And
wow.
So I was like, you know what? This is such a brief period. We don't even understand the concept of eternity at all. We understand like an hour-long interval. We don't even really understand like a 3-month period very well.
Like, vapor in the wind, sweetie.
Yeah.
Vapor in the wind.
Yeah, and it's going by so fast. And the more, like, the longer I've been a parent, the more I see, like, holy smokes, this is like really a vapor in the wind. He's basically got this illusion that, YOLO, like, try all the bad things because you only live once.
This is your time to do it.
Yeah. But, like, really, this is your time to choose. And this is the only time you get to choose. And if you are with Jesus at the end of this time period, if he intervenes in your life and you go, I want to live it your way, eternity is different for you.
Yep.
Eternity.
You don't live once, you live twice. And what you do in the first choice contributes to the second. Yeah.
Your body is gone, but your soul lives on and on and on and on and on and on and on.
Right.
For eternity.
Right.
So, I mean, I just think that inspires me so much and puts to rest so many of my fears, because this is so brief, and whatever hardship I have to experience here, it is not going to last.
No. Yeah. It's nothing in compared to what we are going to experience. And I think as much as this whole awful, I don't even want to call it situation, but the beginning of whatever this is and whatever God's going to turn this for his good and glory, whatever it is, it has brought a lot of fear, but at the same time, I think it's awakened something in everyone. Yeah. One way or another, it's caused a massive impact on the level I don't think any of us could have seen coming. And it's gotten to the point where I think it is starting to awaken some things in us that life is so short. Like it's going to awaken a lot of things, and I could list them all off, but whether that is a newfound tactical approach to spreading the gospel and being more vocal. For some people, it'll cause fear where they want to shut down. For others, it will teach them that, you know what? Unfortunately, his time was cut far too short, and that could happen to any one of us.
I can distinctly remember the park bench I was sitting on when I became afraid to share the gospel. This is weird that this came up, but I was telling you offset earlier about my process this morning on the way over here, having to do with this discussion. And I was talking to a young man. I was very young myself. I was a teenager, and I didn't have the answers. And I got angry. And I felt like I made a fool of Jesus to this person. And then I was like, man, if that's how sharing the gospel looks, it makes other people feel, I'm going to be very careful with this from now on. And I have no idea what that person, I didn't track the rest of their life or whatever. This was a very unique time. I was actually in Europe at the time.
Oh, wow.
But it was an American that I was talking with. And anyway, then I went from talking about Jesus in every circle I was involved with to we only talk about him at church, at camp, places where people are coming and expect to hear that.
Openly available to the idea.
And I think that I'm still very much, it's not that I'm scared to share the gospel. I just don't want to deal with the backlash. I don't like hearing all of the negative things people have to say about my Jesus. And that is no excuse because they literally killed him for what he shared. And it was the truth. And I've let fearing being viewed in a bad light or misunderstood or not having enough facts or whatever it is, I feared that more than I feared my brothers and sisters going to hell.
Yep.
And it's messed up. And
It's
I think
too common.
I realized this morning one of the reasons, not all the reasons, but one of the reasons why I'm so sad about Charlie's death is because I let him be the spokesperson for all of us. And I thought, well, that's good. He's doing it.
Yeah.
And not even his political sharing, but just every time he would be like, hey, if you don't have a relationship with Jesus, look into that.
He
Every
used his
time.
platform. Yeah.
Yes. And that was actually the basis of it. I mean, I know that he had great political discussions, debates with people, all these things. And yeah, but at the heart of it was always just sharing Jesus and being unashamed of the gospel.
Yeah.
I mean, let's wake up. Let's stop letting our shame dictate who we share with and when we share.
Yeah.
Let's just let God dictate that because he's not going to mess it up.
Right. Charlie had this profound ability to articulate and defend a part of America that we felt defenseless and unable to communicate with people because we always got shot down. We could never verbally combat certain conversations. And that man had a God-given talent and ability to do so, to help the ones that felt like they had no word or say have a voice. The only problem is now we would use that as a reason to not speak for ourselves, is what I'm gathering from what you're saying.
Yeah.
And we have to understand that at the end of the day, sometimes a fallback point is to help people understand that I am very unqualified. I am very messed up. And that's why we need him. That's why we need a savior. Right. That is why we need Jesus. Charlie had that amazing ability. We all don't. I'm so thankful we had somebody like that. And I am sure of it that thousands more will rise up after this for that. Yeah. And no matter what side that you sat on for that, I believe that no matter what, if we disagree with you or agree with you, you have a right to speak of that. And agree or not, let this be the point where we can all say, hey, let's go back to the point, if there even was such a thing. Because this has been going on since biblical times.
Yeah.
Another man came to speak truth and he was killed for it.
Yeah.
But God said there's blessing for you when you share in the suffering of Christ.
That's right.
There is a specific blessing that is held for you whenever you endure something like that. And as sad as it is, I am so happy that he gets to enjoy that now.
Yes.
That this world can't touch him anymore. You know, and I just, I pray that it gives us courage and not fear that we can go and proclaim the truth. Because quite honestly, as said Offset, people don't die for a lie.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
Almost all of the disciples died a martyr. They did not die for a lie. If it came down to it, they would have said, no, he did actually die. We just posed it and took him away from the tomb and just made it seem like he came back to life. And that would have been confessed, but it was not.
Yeah.
Because they understood the blessing that they shared. Even when they didn't understand it when Jesus told them, it came down to that point where they got it.
Yeah.
There is a blessing that you have. How blessed are you to be able to share in the sufferings of Christ? Because then you get to share in the reward as well.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. Man, but what a coward. sometimes we are. And even though I've always shared the gospel in certain times, I realized that this was another area where I have not turned it over to God completely and let him, like, trusted him
Yeah.
to use my voice where it needs to be used.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful that my eyes are open to that,
Yeah.
particularly. Gosh, there's so many people that he loves that just have no idea.
Yeah.
And they're so loved.
Yeah. I just pray for a boldness that people can find now, and whether it's this tragedy or not that causes it, I just pray that Christians have this newfound boldness to proclaim truth.
Yes.
Regardless of what happens here.
Yeah.
I still pray protection over the people that do, but it is worth it.
Yes, it is.
It's entirely worth it. And here's something that will really kind of mess you up a little bit. The Christians that Saul murdered on earth welcomed him into heaven with open arms.
Yeah.
It does not matter after this life.
No, it does not.
Now, granted, I'm using that as kind of an analogy, but
Yeah.
I
understand your meaning, though.
Yeah.
I understand your meaning because it matters, but not in the way that it feels like it matters in the kind of illusion that we're living under at the moment.
Yeah.
Just take back the screen and go, whoa, all the good, all of the moments where it came back to Jesus, that's the real stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I saw this post that said, if you were a better Christian, people would love you more. And I turned around and looked at him and said, they crucified Jesus. What do
They
you
would
mean?
not.
What do you mean?
I'm here to tell you that as a little girl who grew up a Christian in public school, they do not love you more.
No.
The more like Jesus you are.
If you honestly believe that, I would highly encourage that you respectfully open the Bible more, because nowhere. Where does it say that?
No, it doesn't.
You'll be more loved for your faith.
The wisdom of God is foolishness to men.
Ooh.
Yeah. So if it starts making sense to you, if God's way starts making sense to you, that's such a good sign that you are,
how encouraging,
yeah, letting go of the world's wisdom.
You're on the right path.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, sis. Just preaching.